Hey Fun Nation, I'm here with Team 2412 Robototes at the Pacific Northwest District Championship. I'm here with Connor, Arnav, Arya, and Ziad, and they're going to be talking about their robust 6-bar intake, their spindexer design, their compact turret design and wiring, their innovative bumpers, and some of their climb plans for the future. Up next on Behind the Bumpers.
Hi, I'm Ziad. I'm going to be talking about our intake. It's a 6-bar linkage where on the bottom we have a kick bar to help compress the balls while intaking. We have a bottom roller, which is a max spline polycarb with max spline wheels that are 2 inches and they're medium grip. And we have 3D printed spacers. Same thing with the roller on top, which is also a max spline polycarb. We have a box tube on the front for impact. So when we collide with another robot, nothing breaks the max spline. And we have a polycarb part on the front that actually extends our hopper so we can fill more balls inside our hopper, and in both when it's up and when it's down, both of them go under the trench, which is nice so we can go under the trench. It is a 70-75 plate that's extending right here with 2 70-75 plates, and it is driven by a 2 Kraken X60 motors and a gear chain. It is also pivoted by the chains. It is also by chains, and we have a bar on the bottom that helps with the pivot. I can now hit, and we have the 2 polycarb on the side for also to expand our hopper. I'm now going to hand it over to Arnav.
So after the balls make it through the intake, our indexing system is a spindexer. We have a Kraken X60 here that runs a belt reduction that's mounted to our brain pen underneath the robot that spins our spindexer here. We've designed it such that there's only one screw that's retaining the cone down, so we can swap it out and iterate really fast on what different geometries allow us to index balls better.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. It isn't too late to order competition apparel for your team at FRC Tees. Founded by FRC alumni and offering a free 14-day turnaround with expedited options available, go to frctees.com to see why hundreds of teams are making FRC Tees their first choice for their apparel needs. That's frctees.com. As you're getting ready for the competition season, think AndyMark as your one-stop shop for all your team needs. AndyMark's Launcher in a Box is a configurable solution that so many teams are finding success with for the rebuilt season. Also available at AndyMark.com, the AMPD AndyMark Power Distribution Board that provides 24 40-amp independently fused output channels for safe, reliable power distribution. That's AndyMark.com.
It goes into our feeder here. Our feeder here is a dead axle design. There are 3/8 standoffs running bolted to these plates and are driven by a belt which are connected to a motor mounted back here. The dead axle design allows us to swap wheels more easily, so we've swapped the wheels over here that lead up into our turret a couple times to try different durometers. So right now we're running, I believe, 35A wheels that mount directly onto the shaft, and then it comes up into our turret. So earlier in the season, we were experimenting with a dual turret design, and that led us to kind of, in our launcher and turret design process, see how far we could push the compactness of the turret. The theoretical limit our team came up with was an 11-inch sweep diameter, but because we chose to only go with one turret, we gave ourselves a little more room to work with, and this turret is a 13-inch sweep diameter. And part of that was the way we do our wiring. A lot of teams that use cable chain require a separate shelf that's in the same plane as their turret in order to manage their cables. But we chose to go for this round flex conduit tubing because that allows us to make a 90-degree bend from the turret and manage all of our wires in this gray bucket here. And so it's clamped to the turret. Yeah. In this plate here. And so it's a 3D printed plate that our launcher mounts to, and it allows us to hot swap our launchers pretty easily. It's just one Anderson block and 8 screws, 4 on each side. And so if you can hand me the spare, this is what it looks like on the inside. The conduit is able to come up on this side, and when we pass over the center where the wiring comes up, it flips to the other side, and basically that lets us push and pull the conduit without the need of any constant force springs or an actual separate management solution. The things that make the shooter itself so compact is we have our hood, for example, is actually driven from the inside with pinions there. And instead of using a hex shaft for the shaft, we're using the same 15-tooth spline the Kraken motors use. So that lets us use tiny pinion gears on the inside. So we get a lot of reduction really efficiently in a very compact space. And it also lets us move the gears to the inside of the hood. So we get the same stiffness of a hood that's this thick, but without the additional bulk of having a gear driving it on the back. Similarly, to another thing we do for compactness is we use smaller flywheels, and I have a separate set of rollers on the bottom to pull balls up. That lets us put the motors in between those two sets of rollers, which decreases our sweep diameter significantly. And we have a double pulley here to help drive both of those with less bulk, because there's no need for spacers or anything there. And so now talking about our hopper design and how that's integrated into our bumpers, we have Connor.
Hi, my name's Connor. I'm going to be talking about our bumpers. So here is one of our blue bumpers. As you can see, it is kind of like a normal bumper, except we have our hopper mounted to the walls using these 3D prints, clamping these carbon fiber tubes around the hopper wall. So that way, balls can use this as a hopper space instead of having to rely on the frame perimeter, which allows for us to get a tiny bit more space, especially allowing balls to fit through the tubes here. Additionally, to make sure our bumper construction is super reliable, we make it out of a stainless steel backing. That way, we can ensure that it is going to be stiffer and stronger than wood. And we can reliably go into matches saying that we are relatively certain, if not completely certain, that we'll be able to take almost any hit. We also, of course, have handles mounted to our bumpers to allow for better ease of picking up and dropping the robot, which is also integrated into our carbon fiber tubing. Next, I'm going to be handing it off to Arnav again to talk about future climb plans as we hopefully compete further on the season.
So yeah, originally the climber we started out with was just a kind of box tube elevator climber that was going to be an L1 climb, but when we saw the Thunderstamps release their climb, which was a magnet climber, we realized that our geometry worked out that we could do something similar. So what we're doing is also a magnet climb, but instead of using large magnets in order to generate that field, we have these steel blocks here that the magnets sit on, and that redirects the field through them. So we're able to get more force clamping the robot to the climb structure while having smaller magnets. So that saves a lot on weight and also space. And what we're doing here with the 2 different wheel durometers is this wheel is a really stiff durometer, I believe 90. And that basically sets the distance between the magnets and the frame. And then this grippier wheel is actually what drives us up and down the shaft. And so now to talk about our software and our vision and how we're running that this year, we have Arya.
All right, I'm Arya, and I'm going to be talking about our software today. So starting off, we have our vision system, which is composed of 3 limelights, which are all on different faces of the robot. This allows us to get accurate pose estimation throughout the entire match with seeing multiple tags all at once, and that has been working great for us here at DCMPs. Moving on, we have our driver station. Pretty simple. We have 2 controllers connected to a framework, and we have a stream deck right here. And this stream deck is used as our USB hub for connecting both controllers and powering the computer. But on top of that, we also use it functionally, as it has all our Limelight pipelines, our driver station and shuffleboard, as well as radio status during testing. So then moving on to the computer itself, we have our little auto chooser here. And to start off, we have our starting position. That is, it filters all the autos based on where we start. Then it has our available autos for each of those locations. And then it also has the estimated time of the auto, as well as visualization of what the auto is actually going to be doing, so teams can see and understand what our auto is going to do. Coming back to the robot, we have this clear plate right here, and underneath that we have our LEDs. So when I enable the robot, you'll see they turn on. They start off with this default pink color, and that's just our default state. But when I run things like the intake, you'll see they turn blue. You'll also see they turn green when the robot is ready to shoot. And you also got to see a little bit of our auto shooting there. So based on your position on the field, so if you're in your alliance zone and your hub is active, then the robot will start shooting. Or if you're in the neutral zone and you have enough time to fill up your hopper and the hub is not active, we'll also be shooting. That allows the driver to mainly focus on intaking and driving and intaking balls. So that way you don't even have to worry about launching balls. And you also may have seen the flashing orange lights. That is a warning to our driver to go to switch whatever zone they're in, because the shift is about to change. On top of that, we have full field range shooting with our hood rollers. We are able to shoot from the entire width of the field, and we can make any shot, and we can pass from one alliance zone to the other alliance zone. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you for talking to us about your robot. Hope you do well for the rest of the competition. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. As you're getting ready for the competition season, think AnyMark as your one-stop shop for all your team needs. AnyMark's Launcher in a Box is a configurable solution that so many teams are finding success with for the rebuilt season. Also available at anymark.com, the AMPD AnyMark Power Distribution Board that provides 24 40-amp independently fused output channels for safe, reliable power distribution. That's anymark.com. It isn't too late to order competition apparel for your team at FRC Tees. Founded by First alumni and offering a free 14-day turnaround with expedited options available, go to frctees.com to see why hundreds of teams are making FRC Tees their first choice for their apparel needs. That's frctees.com.